NFL playoffs are here. We have the full crew tonight. We got Josh, we got Joey, we got Mike, we got Dan, and we got Joe, and we got me as well. These guys have been knocking out this show every single Monday for the past couple of months, doing an excellent job. So glad to join them here on the Fantasy Savvy channel. We're all fantasy savvy here in this room, but we're going to break down this NFL playoff slate. So whatever you guys are into, whether it's best ball drafts, whether it's DFS, whether you're just making picks on the games, we're going to break it all down and give you our unique insights. We got Bengals fans, we got Patriots fans, we got Eagles fans, we got Jets fans. So we've seen it all this year. And one of us at least has a playoff, or two of us. Mike's got the Eagles and Joe's got the Patriots. So we'll see how these teams fare. But we'll get into all of it. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing to the show. We're going to be doing some more live drafts the next couple days as well, all the way up into the NFL playoffs. We did a couple drafts last night. You can check that out on the channel. You can follow me on X at Fantasy Savvy. But welcome, everybody. If you guys want to jump in the comments, ask us anything, we'll get to it for sure. But on the other side, we'll come back. We'll start with the Rams-Panthers game, and we'll go game by game, breaking down everything. So here we go. All right, and we're back. So we're going to start with this Rams game versus the Panthers. But I want to introduce everybody real quick. We got Joe Carlton, Dan, Josh, Joey Brown, and Mike as well, Gamberg. So what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
We're good. We're good. Ready to go, right, man. Talk about the playoffs.
All right, cool. All right, so Rams-Panthers, obviously these two teams played earlier in the year, and it was a 31-28 win for the Panthers. Nobody expected it. It was a 9.5-point spread. Carolina was favored. The Rams were favored by 9.5. We have a similar spread now, 10.5. Revenge game. It's in Carolina. Carolina wins the NFC South. All those teams were kind of even at 8 and 9. They win the freaking division. Definitely the worst team in the playoffs, unless one of you thinks otherwise. But Joe, I'll start with you. Is there any chance that Carolina can win this game, or do you think there's no chance in hell? Or if not, can they at least cover in this game?
Well, there's always a chance. They beat the Rams earlier this year. I actually, when I was prepping for the show, I actually overlooked this game because initially my thoughts were the Rams were going to steamroll them. Matthew Stafford is probably the NFL MVP at this point. 46 touchdown passes. I don't see how you could argue that. Even being a Drake May fan and a Patriots fan, it's got to be Matt Stafford. I suppose it's possible that they can cover. The game is in Carolina, so they are at home. But with that being said, the player prop that I picked was Matt Stafford 3+ passing touchdowns at plus 149. Like I mentioned earlier, he's in my opinion, he is the MVP this season, and to beat the Rams twice in 1 year, not an easy task, and especially where they barely scraped up that win. It took I believe there was a pick six involved, and there was also a long touchdown. There was some big plays that the Rams gave up, and that's kind of how Carolina ended up edging out the win in the first contest. So yeah, I'm going to say the Rams win pretty good. I don't know if I'm confident enough to say they win by more than 10.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to handle business in the first round, take out Carolina.
All right. Anybody else got any strong thoughts on this game? Either way, just go right ahead. You can shout it out.
I think Sean McVay's pissed. He's not going to lose this game.
Yeah.
I think the 10.5 is an easy cover myself. I think the over-under I was looking at, I'm torn on. I think it's going to be like a 34-10 kind of game. I don't see Carolina scoring more than a field goal and a touchdown myself. I think the Rams come out smoking. I think Devontae Adams gets a touchdown. He had 2 touchdowns last game. Yeah. Last time, I should say, that they played Carolina. I think Stafford goes berserk.
What's your prop, Dan? You got a prop?
Oh, sorry. If you watched the game last week, I know Adams was out, but I saw Tyler Higbee take over Parkinson's role there. He had 94, 98 yards, something in the 90s. His over-under is 23.5 yards. That's 2 catches for Tyler Higbee. I'll take the over on that.
Nice.
Yeah, and Ferguson, I don't think he practiced today, so he's questionable. Yeah, he's questionable coming to this game. But yeah, that's interesting. We'll see. I know the Panthers aren't the best on the ground, so Kyron and Corum should have some room to run. Joey, what do you think about this game, man? Anything on this game?
I will be contrarian a little bit. I think the Rams win, but I think the key for them is Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle. Can you keep that offense on sidelines? They're going to have to. They can't rely on Bryce Young. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get out of him. I think the running game's got to be strong and keep the Rams on the sideline to make it interesting. I mean, I think the Rams win, but I'm going plus 320 Coker anytime touchdown on my prop.
I like that. Coker, he kind of took over for Get.
It's supposed to be a little bit of light rain in that game too, so we'll see how that plays out. Also,
okay, yeah, I didn't even look at that. But yeah, Coker took over for Get. I know I think he scored a touchdown in the first matchup where he had like 70 yards.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the Coker shout out. What about you, Josh or Mike? Anything on this game here?
Well, Dan knows that I always talk about tight ends, and he jumped on my tight ends. If we think it's going to go the way that Joe's saying with the blowout, then I think we can jump on a prop bet for Chuba and go to his alt line, 3 receptions, and you're in plus money. If it's a tighter game, I think the Rams make use of Parkinson and Higbee, and both of their catches are like 1.5 and 2.5. So you can bet the over on either one of those. I was going to go with tight ends, but I'll go with Hubbard plus 3 catches for the game there. I think I do lean that it's maybe not as big a blowout as Joe's saying, but I think the Rams are going to take care of business.
Yeah, I kind of like that. They'll be playing from behind, throw their backs. It's always been a key part of the Canales offense. What do you think, Mike? Any chance the Panthers can shock the world here?
I mean, I don't think they're going to shock the world, but the Rams, besides the Cardinals, their run defense hasn't been good against Seattle, and Atlanta they got chopped up. I mean. I like the Dowdle, over 46.5 rushing yards. I think Panther. That's what they're going to have to rely on. They're going to want to move the change, eat the clock. At least early on, and I don't think.
Do you think they'll be able? Do you think they'll be able to run the game, run the ball in this game? The Panthers.
For some reason, the Rams defense. I mean, they just got chopped up by Seattle and Atlanta. I mean, that was surprising against Atlanta. I mean, it was like last year's Rams defense. So that's what I think 40. I think that's a low number. I think he can obtain that.
Yeah, the Rams defense definitely got some holes. The total's 46.5. I mean, they let up, like you said, 27 to Atlanta, 38 to freaking Seattle, 34 to Detroit, 20 to Arizona. So, I think Carolina could put up, maybe 20 points. I think the Rams, though, are going to score into the 30s in this game, especially with Devontae Adams back. So, I think Dan mentioned it. Devontae Adams getting into the end zone. I believe it's minus 125. I mean, before he got hurt, he was on a streak where he was like scoring every single freaking week. So, I think Devontae Adams in the end zone is a bit, he just gives you that little freaking move in the end zone. It's just like corners can't guard it. These young corners, especially, they don't know what the hell's coming. He's just way too skilled. And that's the thing about Adams. He could probably do this for another couple years. So, he doesn't have to rely on speed, and he's just so crafty. He could definitely do it for another couple of years. So I think we're all in agreement. I think we all expect the Rams to win this game. I think the 10.5, I would lean the Rams. I would definitely lean the over as well. I think the Rams could, like I said, score 30, 34 points, and then Carolina could get into the 20s. So I think it will go over. The Rams defense has shown some holes. Canales is a pretty good offensive coordinator. Bryce Young, maybe he gets it going here. Maybe Coker getting inserted in a lineup, maybe that helps him a little bit more too, as he's getting more playing time. But I mean, if the Rams somehow lost this game, and this is the one game that is the most predictable, if the Rams somehow lost this game, then the rest of the playoffs is going to be completely crazy. But does anybody else have any more thoughts on this game before we move on to Green Bay Chicago on Saturday night?
But
go ahead, Joe.
One thing I was going to say about that, we was talking about running the ball. They had 35 rushing attempts between the two, but Carolina had 35 minutes of time of possession to their 24. So
Right.
they're going to have that same kind of formula to do it again if they can pull the upset.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely try to do that. I mean, that seems like the most logical thing to do. I'm just wondering if, with the spread, the Rams revenge game, you're getting Devontae Adams back, are they going to have such a lead where Carolina's going to be able to run the ball? But, I don't know. Maybe Carolina keeps this game within a touchdown for most of the game, and maybe the Rams get a late touchdown and pull out late. So, I mean,
Adams had 2 touchdowns in that game, I think, too.
Yeah, Dan did mention that earlier. That's why I was saying the minus 125. I kind of like that for the prop there. All right.
Nobody's got more bulletin board material than the Panthers because they are getting blasted all week long. So that's
true. That's true, man.
Prove the world wrong.
Everybody's shitting on them. Nobody expects them to win.
Yeah.
So maybe it's worth, taking the Panthers in the 10.5. I mean, they are home. It's not like they're a completely terrible team. It's like, Bryce Young, he is kind of hit or miss, but, they got some players. Canales is a good coach. They got some players on both sides of the ball. And so, maybe it's worth taking the 10.5 and taking Carolina. I don't know about the plus. I mean, the value with the money line is pretty good too, plus 473.
The Panthers are 10-7 against the spread, as opposed to their 8-9 overall record. So,
I mean, the only thing I would say on the spread is, well, I see, just my experience. 10.5 tells me the favorite. 9.5. It was 9.5. I'd probably be questioning, Carolina. They're just, they
right.
To me, when I see that 6.5, I like it's people they see that 6.5. Something like in that case, they say, oh, they need a touchdown to win. To me, it's a dog. This is a Rams line, I think.
How about a 2-team teaser with the Rams and the over? You cut it down to 2.5, so you get within a field goal, and then you bring the total down. Well, actually, that's you're only going to get 6 points, so you cut it down to 40.5, and 4.5. So, I mean, you could always do the 2-team teasers. I haven't really done any teasers this year, but I used to love teasers. But it's something, another angle you could look at. All right, we got some comments in the chat. People are kind of going nuts over here.
It is going to be raining. What do you guys think about raining? I mean, it's not going to be cold, but there is precipitation. 80% chance of rain throughout the game. 60 to 65 degree weather. So I
I
don't
mean,
know if that-
I guess it depends on how hard it's coming down. I mean, if it's like a light drizzle, it's not really going to be a big factor. But if it's pouring, we could get some fumbles. You never know what the hell could happen. A lot of drop passes. So that, yeah, I mean, that would be an advantage for Carolina, I would think. Obviously, any wrenches you could throw into this game. So we'll see. I don't know. It says pretty good shot of rain. 10 to 15 mile an hour winds. That's not really a factor. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. That's something to pay attention to for sure.
I had one good thing though. Stafford played a lot out in the north and the Green Bays and the Chicago's in the bad weather back today. Detroit. So
We got some it looks like Cal Little Blue is a Panthers fan. He's kind of souped up over here over the Panthers. Guess he feels a little bit disrespected as well. He's saying you guys are forgetting about T-Mac, offensive rookie of the year.
Is he though, or is it? I mean,
T-Mac he only had one catch last game versus him. It was a big one.
yeah.
I don't know. I think I lean Jackson Dot on offensive rookie of the year. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know.
Who's the favorite?
Tet.
Is it that? Yeah.
It's close, but it's
North should be Harold Fanning, shouldn't it?
Yeah, Tet's a heavy favorite. He's minus 1,000, and then Trevion is plus 900, and Dart is plus 900. Tyler Shuck, you can make an argument for him plus 1,400, but I don't know if he's going to get it. But I mean, you could throw something. I mean, Shuck had a great end of the year with the Saints won 4 of their last 5 games with him in the lineup. So.
Tyler Warren.
It's definitely heavy rain. Cali Blue saying it's going to be very cold. I mean, 60 degrees is not very cold. Where I'm sitting right now, it's probably 20 degrees colder than 60 degrees.
Yeah, that's not very cold, man.
Yeah, we had a here today, and it's still colder than 60.
Yeah.
A shout out to Rabbit Dad. He says Panthers definitely going to keep it within 7 points. Still going to lose though. Cal Little Blue says it's going to be very cold, bro. 60 degrees, heavy rain. So we'll see. Rabbit Dad says, in my eyes, offensive rookie is either Tet or Shuck. I agree with that. I think I would give it to Shuck or Dart. I think one of those two, the quarterback. But McMillan, he had a solid year. For a rookie, but he was the first receiver taken in the draft, right? I think the expectations were a little bit higher for him to look a little bit more dominant. But again, he's playing with Bryce Young. It's not the total ideal situation.
Coco was also injured, for a good portion of the year. He was dealing with top coverage. So yeah, I mean, I don't take anything away from him. I was really impressed by what Jackson Dart did.
Yeah, I agree. One of those quarterbacks, I would probably lean Dart over Shuck as well. But yeah, McMillan is the heavy favorite here. All right, let's keep it moving here. Let's get into the next game. It's going to be Saturday night. It's going to be Green Bay against the Bears. They've played twice already. Remember the last game? I was watching this game. I was walking around outside, and I was watching, and I thought it was going to be done. I was watching some of the game. Then I put the game on my phone. All of a sudden, the Bears are driving. They got an onside kick. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Next thing I know, DJ Moore's catching a winning touchdown. And the Bears win 22-16 in overtime. That's kind of what the Bears have been doing all year. Caleb doesn't really do much for the first half. They're down, and then they come back in the second half, and he makes plays down the stretch, and credit to him. He's been clutch. They've had the right play calls, and they've won a lot of close games. Which fares well for them in the playoffs. And then Green Bay won the first matchup December 7th, 28-21 in Green Bay. I was looking at this game early briefly. I mean, my numbers say Chicago should probably win this game, but what do you guys think? Joey, I'll start with you.
I'm all in on the Bears. I'm going Chicago. Defense totally different about no Michael Parsons over there. So, and Josh Jacobs, he's been banged up a little bit. I just don't. And one thing about it too, the Bears get a lot of INTs. They get a lot of interceptions on defense. So I'm going Bears. I think like you said, they win close games. That helps going down the stretch. And I've even using Caleb at 2+ passing touchdowns at +112.
All right, sounds good to me.
And Loveland's going to be good. Burden, I mean, it's an offense on the rise. This is the time to shine if they're going to, Ben Johnson.
Any concerns with the way they played in the last game of the year last week, Joey? On offense there?
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Playing against Dan Campbell, they know each other, and
yeah,
that might have played a little bit of part in it. And they looked sluggish, but I think it's new season now. It's go time.
Yeah, and they kind of knew they were in the playoffs already, and even with the loss, they still got the 2 seed. So
that was Detroit's Super Bowl because they were basically eliminated already. So
yeah, Detroit was definitely more motivated in that game. All right, Dan, what do you think about this game, man?
Stat I was going to bring up earlier about all the games, all 6 games are outside. In the last, I think it was 10 or 12 years of the wild card round, the under hit 70% of the time, or just a little bit under 70% of the time. I think this game,
I like that.
One of these games that is going to be slow to start. I look for both teams just to try to run the ball. I think the Packers, I just looked up, they were in the last 4 weeks. I was looking at the 4-week spells. Last 4 weeks, they were like 4th worst against the run. So I fully expect Swift or both guys really, to try and run the ball. And then Jacobs, I know Joey mentioned he's been banged up. I think he's getting a little bit healthier. So I fully expect a running game. I think the under is in play. I don't look for a very exciting game. I do think, and this is what me and Josh always say, like Chicago just finds ways to win games, and I don't know how. I think Caleb's going to pull something out at the end. It's going to be a field goal game. It's 1.5 spread, Green Bay. Was this the game that started on the other way? I think it was 1.5 Chicago.
I think it did.
And it went to Green Bay. So I think it's a coin flip. I think the under. One prop I did like when I was doing some research this morning. Last game, Christian Watson, you guys know I love Watson. He was 4 for 90 and 2 touchdowns. His over is 43.5. So I talked about all the running game. I'm going to take a receiver over. So I'll take Watson yards.
Yeah. Spread is Green Bay -1. Total is 45.5. The weather in this game, it looks like could be some snow showers or flurries, but could be some wind here. This guy in Roto Grinders, this is the guy who usually this guy Kevin Walker.
Kevin. Yeah,
he's always concerned about the wind, seems like. But then you get into these games, and the wind never really is like a true fact. I think unless you're facing 40, 50 sustained, I'm not really going to worry about the wind. He's saying that we're going to get 15 sustained with gusts about 30 miles an hour. But he does say actually that the late game wind gusts could be 35 an hour. But you never know what a gust. That could be every 30 minutes or 40 minutes, or it could last 2 seconds, 3 seconds. So I'm not going to be overly concerned unless we get closer. And then they're saying it's going to be 30 sustained or something like that. But it doesn't sound like it's going to be an ideal weather game. Overall. So we know Caleb's got the arm. We know Love's got the arm. I mean, you could argue, does anybody in here think that Malik Willis is a better quarterback than Jordan Love? Because I kind of think he is.
It's close. I don't hate that take, Steve. He's definitely brings an element that Jordan Love can't, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he kind of looked like he was dead a year or two ago, and then last year he came in a couple times. He looked really good, and he played really good this year as well. Again, he really looks like he's learned well in that system. So, but Josh, I'll hand it over to you here. What do you got here?
I'm gonna stick with one of my tight ends, and this is a guy that I was not real big on at the beginning of the season. Just not a real big believer in Caleb Williams. But Ben Johnson is bringing him along, calling games, and that are getting players open for him. But I feel like Colston Loveland does get a touchdown in this game, so I'm going to go with Colston Loveland anytime touchdown. I think the Bears are that team that they just don't see any weakness in themselves. They keep winning games. And I think last week's game was, it was like Joe said, that was the Lions Super Bowl, and the Bears were probably already, they wanted to win it for Ben, but they were already looking towards the playoffs a little bit. Ben Johnson doesn't want to roll everything he's got up his sleeve out there in that last week to beat the Lions. So I don't know. As beat up as Green Bay's defense is and missing Micah Parsons, I'm leaning the Bears. I like the Bears in this one, and I like Colston Loveland to get him a touchdown.
All right, Joe, what do you think, man?
I'll start off with my prop. I'm going a little different than you guys. I like Jordan Love under 30.5 passing attempts at plus 149. We'll talk about the game script. Chicago, 5th in the league in rushing attempts. Green Bay, 7th in the league in rushing attempts, kind of piggybacking off of what Dan mentioned earlier. Both teams like to run the ball and run the ball a lot. Most of the game, as far as who I think is going to win the game, I think the Bears win the game. I'm with you guys on this one. When the last time they played, the 2 times they played this year, in the game that Green Bay lost on December 20th, Jordan Love only had, actually it was combined, Malik Willis and Jordan Love, 24 pass attempts. In the game that they won on December 7th, Jordan Love only had 25 pass attempts. So I like it. It's plus money under 30.5 pass attempts. Most of the games, I shouldn't say most of the games, but there were a lot of games that the Packers lost where they gave up big rushing performances. Derrick Henry, 216 yards, 4 touchdowns. Quinshon Judkins, 94 yards and a touchdown. Rico Dowdle, 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. Chicago combined for 150 rushing yards on them in the game that they won. All these games that they've given up over 5 yards per carry. Even Jordan Mason down in the last game of the year, he had 94 yards on I don't know how many carries, but it was 6.7 yards per carry. So if there's anybody that can scheme up a good run game, it's Ben Johnson. And I do think that that's the difference in this game. I think Chicago wins because of that. They've been finding ways to win. You guys touched on all the good points earlier. I just wanted to add my thoughts on the game script. And, I think it's going to be kind of lower scoring. I could see almost like a 20 or 23-16 win for Chicago.
Yeah, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry was like on a mission to save Baltimore's season in that game, and he absolutely terrorized them. You can run
the ball on Green Bay.
Yeah, for the year they're under 4 yards per carry, but like you guys mentioned down the stretch, mostly by Henry, but like you said, Jordan Mason had 14 carries for 94 yards on him too. So, and in the prior game, Swift had 13 for 58, and Monangai was 9 for 50. And that's what Ben Johnson is, like a wizard at the run game, man. The way he uses motion and sets up his blocks. And you're pulling Kyle Monangai, a 7th-round pick from Rutgers, and making him, look solid out there. That's a lot of props. That they run block very well. So, yeah, especially in a weather game like this, they're going to be home. I've kind of had a bias against the Bears all year, but Ben Johnson's done a hell of a job, setting these guys up for success. So, I don't really trust Jordan Love either. I don't really trust him to go on the road and get a W. And I still think they're missing Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft was such a huge part of their team. I know they got Watson back and they got Jaden Reed back, and Green Bay could certainly win this game, but I'm going to lean the Bears here as well, even though my bias is wanting me to take Green Bay here. Any thoughts on the total in this game? It is 45.5. Considering the weather, what do you think, Mike?
Well, I just want to say the lines. You would think the Bears. Everybody likes the Bears, but why is Green Bay favored? Vegas is not stupid. Why are they giving 1.5? I won't bet the game, but
Yeah.
for me on the prop bet, I like Jacobs. It's like even money over 75.5 yards. He was a beast last year. I watched it firsthand, Phil. I think he's going to be probably close to 100%.
Yeah, they've rested him up the past couple weeks.
They're gonna use him.
He was a little bit banged up down the stretch. They rested him up. His anytime touchdowns -115. I mean, he's a touchdown.
I like that too. I like both.
He's a touchdown machine. It seems that his odds have been higher in the past. They've kind of dropped here. It's almost like, why is it so low?
I mean, why do you guys think it's 1.5? I mean, I know the Packers have a national following. Why are the Packers favored? I mean,
well, they weren't favored initially. I think people hammered the opposite side in the flip flop.
Yeah, but now it's like you're giving the home teams get it's 3 points. So you're talking about that's a big.
Well, that's the way I was figuring. I'm like,
I don't get it.
You give the Bears 2-3 points at home, and then Caleb and Love, to me, I don't know, it's kind of like even to me. I don't think there's a quarterback edge. The coaching, I mean, look at what Ben Johnson's done. I mean, I know, so I don't know. That's kind of that could be kind of even. The defenses, without Parsons now I think that's kind of even. And then the weapons on both sides, both sides have good weapons. So I feel like the Bears getting a point at home with the home field, it just seems like they are the team to bet here. But yeah, I don't know why it's the Green Bay's favorite here. I think it should be like the Bears -1 or 2, but
it's just weird because Green Bay last time they played with their stars, it was against Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore wasn't even playing good, and they just Henry ran through them like they were a high school defense. I mean, it was like.
Joey, how much do you think the experience matters here with the Packers against the Bears here?
I think it'd mean a whole lot, especially with Love and him been there. Jacobs been there. This is Caleb's first time, isn't it? In the playoffs. This is his first year, so it will play a difference. I mean, it will. I guess it depends on how that first drive goes. If Green Bay push it down the field and puts it up, and vice versa. I don't know. That's gonna be a tough game. It's odd to see the Packers favored, but I mean, I guess it's just where it's a divisional game pretty well too. So
yeah, Packers are coming in losing 4 straight. The Bears were on fire. They lost 2 in a row to San Fran and Detroit, and they also lost to Green Bay a couple weeks before that. But then they beat Green Bay, obviously, beat Cleveland 31-3. So, maybe it's a LaFleur Packers experience thing that people are rolling with here. Jordan Love as well. But again, look at what Chicago has done. They've been playing tight games all season long. You'd have to think maybe they could get it done down the stretch here, but they kind of play with fire every game too. So maybe that even that last game, Green Bay had that game. Green Bay should have beat them twice this year. They got an onside kick. They had a freaking bomb to end it. So maybe people are looking at it from that angle as well. So this game to me could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised if either team won, obviously. But all right. Go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say, I want to throw one more thing out there. TJ Edwards is fully healthy, finally. I don't think he played in either of the games against Green Bay. So that's huge. He's an absolute menace on the defensive side of the ball. So I think you got to factor that in a little bit too. I don't want to not mention him. So
all right, good point.
The only thing I would say, I don't know the line, but the guy, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes. I don't know what is on the prop bets, but Wicks came out of nowhere Thanksgiving. I mean, I would be surprised if he plays a big part in this game.
Man, you never know when Don David Wicks.
Thanksgiving out of nowhere, he looked like he was a top 3 receiver in the league.
That's why everybody loved him in fantasy. We're like a couple of years ago because he's showing flashes.
Piggybacking on something Steve's talked about.
Probably big odds too for him. I don't know for any.
I don't see his receiving total yet. I think he's still quite kind of questionable for the game.
He hasn't been cleared for concussions from his concussion.
Okay. So he's not indefinite yet. But here's a guy that, Thanksgiving, that was just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You all think that they'll run any
Oh.
Malik Willis personnel out there? Do you think they'll even throw him out there for a few plays just for a wrinkle?
That's a good point though, because Jordan Love, if he gets hurt in the game, at least Malik Willis can back him up. Tyson Badgett, I know the Bears fans love him, but whenever he really comes in, he doesn't really do much. I know he's like a preseason superstar, but I would much prefer Malik Willis. But Caleb's pretty tough, man. Like, give him credit. He takes some hits. He avoids hits. He's pretty tough. So, he stayed pretty healthy. He's pretty nimble. He's nice and young. Jordan Love is like constantly leaving these games. So, but that's good, because if Malik Willis comes in, we know that he can run the offense very well. So,
they might sneak a couple plays here and there, a couple packages for him in that game, just based on how he played last time.
Yeah, they should. I think that'd be smart. Jaden Reed is intriguing, over 35.5. His prop, he's always a smash. It looks like a Dunze is going to come back. He's going to get out there with that stress fracture in his foot. I don't know how much I trust him. I think it's going to be, the offense has kind of shifted to, they're really running a lot of stuff for Loveland now. They're kind of scheming him open.
And Burden's been hot.
Dunze could be used in the red zone, I could say.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Burden, they're scheming him open too. A lot of underneath stuff, letting him create with his, playmaking ability. The one guy is like DJ Moore, man. It's just like to see him at 26.5. It's like DJ Moore is so freaking good. This is like 1,000-yard receiver year in and year out with an array of different terrible quarterbacks. So it's like, I don't know why they can't get him going on a consistent level. But he's just like, he's not being schemed in like Loveland and Burden are now. Romeo Dobbs is another one. He could definitely score. You never know when he's going to strike. But yeah, I think Watson is the receiver. He's kind of separated himself the most. He's the one guy I'd be willing to bet on. But that Josh Jacobs touchdown prop, minus 115, that seems kind of low. Don't you think that's kind of low for him? I remember like early in the year, it was like minus 175, minus 180 for him. So he was like a sure thing to score every single week. So
I don't understand TJ Moore. He had that big game, against Green Bay, but the last two games where they needed to win in the combined games, 2 catches for 18 yards.
Well, overall, they're like a running football team.
That's just amazing. It's Frisco. It was a shootout.
Yeah, but Frisco's defense, we'll get to that. They got some serious problems. So,
and the Lions were beating them, so they had to pass the ball really. So 2 catches in 18 yards. It's just amazing.
Rabbit Dad, I brought this up earlier. He said Chicago will defeat Green Bay this week. Green Bay has no depth, no drive, and no chance. It's going to be a bloodbath. Wow. I know he's a Vikings fan. But he's real confident in that one. He also says Jordan Love is the most overpaid player in the NFL. Curtis Knight, hang around. We're going to talk about the Rams. Bears may get back at Dunze. We did mention that. Shout out to Steve G, Fantasy Sopranos, battling him in the fantasy streets this year. That was fun. He was up there in a lot of the leagues.
He did really well.
Oh yeah,
he's a good player.
Oh yeah,
he won a lot of.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get him on the show pretty soon. Packers versus Steelers Super Bowl. Okay, you bet on that. I don't know what the hell the odds are. Go Pack, go from Fargo, North Dakota. Shout out to Fargo. I don't know if you guys seen that movie.
Oh yeah, yes.
I think it won Best Movie like in 1990.
Fargo, that was a great movie.
Yeah, 1995 or something.
Macy was amazing. So was what you call it, Bashimi.
Yeah, definitely a good movie. I'm pretty sure that won Best Movie. So that's, if you want to talk about cold, Cali Blue, it's definitely cold up there in Fargo, North Dakota. All right. So I think we're good with that game. Does anybody want to add anything before we get to the Sunday games?
Your prop is Jacobs anytime touchdown?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Jacobs anytime.
I just want to make sure I get all these wrote down so I can dial them in. I can throw my $10 at them, and maybe I'll win back some money this year.
I appreciate you recording that, Josh.
You're hot right now. We're not even. Maybe you'll throw in a college bowl. I don't think you lost a college game in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll have to
Please,
revisit the
relax.
record. What our record was next week. We'll see
Yeah,
how we
yeah, we
did.
got to
Winners
start tracking
after
our
winners,
records.
Steve, in college.
Yeah, college, doing pretty well. It's been
Yeah, I
help
can see
elevate
that.
the bankroll a little bit.
Yeah,
We'll see how we do this weekend.
good for you, man.
Yeah, much better than the NFL. All right, let's talk about 1:00 Sunday morning. This game is, I mean,
Kept us on schedule.
there's a lot to talk about in this game. Buffalo is playing Jacksonville. Jacksonville is like the hottest team coming in. They've won. They're 9-1 in their last 10. They're 8-2 against the spread as well. They've been. I mean, I was kind of wondering, is this real with Trevor Lawrence? Because obviously, when he got drafted, I kind of felt like he was overrated. He had, he showed some good things, showed some bad things. Then he was kind of just trending down. And then Liam Cohen comes into town. And I actually did go to their camp this year. And I went to the Panthers camp a few years ago when they had Frank Reich, and it was such a difference. Frank Reich had like the players, and it was two different areas. Like they were at a college, the Panthers, but they were spread out all over the place. And the Jaguars were like consolidated to one area. And the announcer was explaining all the different situations. This is a 2-minute drill. We're going to start this drive at the 30-yard line. They were explaining. So it was just so much more well organized. I thought the Jaguars camp, and look at what Cohen's done. I mean, he's turned around Trevor Lawrence. They bring in Jacoby Myers. They got the young GM there as well. And look at what happens to Baker Mayfield. Cohen leaves, and like Mayfield, they started out hot, but he kind of just like was lost down the stretch, and they don't even make the playoffs. And Baker was like improving every year. So coaching makes a huge difference. Brian Thomas is like the third option here, which is insane. They're going over the middle to Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington. ETN's had a good year. Bashal Tutin came back last week against Tennessee. Their defense is playing well. Shout out to their coordinator. He's from Fair Lawn, New Jersey. He went to high school with my best friend. He was a quarterback. My friend was like, well, good thing he went to defense because he couldn't really play quarterback in high school. But yeah, I mean, he's done a hell of a job, Anthony Campanelli, with this Jacksonville defense. So, and then Buffalo, we all know that Brandon Beane kind of rested on his laurels. He was bitching and complaining, to the media about, we don't need receivers. This whole thing's overrated. We scored 30 points a game. But now they're throwing out Brandon Cooks. They're trying to bring in McCole Hardman. So I'll start with you, Mike, on this game. Who do you like, and any strong opinions on any props or picks in this game?
I like Jacksonville. I just don't like the Buffalo defense, and I think really a one-man show on offense. I mean, Jacksonville's very good against the run, so if they can contain Cook, I don't think they can match what Jackson, Lawrence in that offense. I like in the prop bets. I mean, I like over 3.5 receptions for Parker Washington. I mean, the guy's got close to double digits like 3 straight weeks, and his targets are double digits. He's getting 8, 9 catches. And I think the receiving yards is even a good play, over 50.5. So I think that guy looks. I mean, he's
solid.
He's a keeper for sure. That team.
He's always been good. I mean, he's always been making
100%. I don't know how Buffalo's going to keep up with him. Really.
Yeah, total is. I forgot to mention that total is 52 in this game, which I thought was crazy high. But you could see it going back and forth for sure. And then the Bills are -1. Joe, what do you think here? We were talking about this earlier. I was surprised that you're on the Bills in this game.
Yeah. So this is what I'm one of the biggest Josh Allen haters there is out there. You guys know that. Buffalo does have a defensive problem, but I will say this: their pass defense is better than it appears. It was when the last time they played the Patriots walked all over them in the first half, and then they made second half adjustments and they shut down the Patriots offense the entire second half of that game. So I do think they're capable of adjusting if they're getting beat up somewhere. I will mention that. I do think I just can't fathom saying Trevor Lawrence beats Josh Allen in a playoff game. I just don't see it. I've never been a Trevor Lawrence truther, kind of like you, Steve. I thought he was overrated coming in. Generally, they call him a generational talent. I just don't see his decision making is awful. Lamb Cohen has done a real good job, especially in recent weeks, the last like 6 or 7 weeks, with limiting his decisions and his mistakes. The Jacoby Myers addition definitely helped. But when it comes down to it, it's Josh Allen. I think Dalton Kincaid is going to be the key to this game. Jacksonville Jaguars, if they have an Achilles heel on defense, it is giving up yards to the tight end. They've, over 100 receptions and 1,000 yards to the tight end this year, 8 touchdowns total. He's my prop bet. I like him 4+ receptions at plus 119. I know he's got a knee injury, but I think they've managed that well the past week and a half as they managed his practice reps. He played the last game of the year. And the Bills are 9-2 in games that he's in the lineup and he's active and he's out there on the field. They average 30.2 points per game in those 11 games. I think that they can do a good enough job against the pass. The key is going to be getting an early lead. I think if the Bills score first, then Jacksonville's offense could be in trouble. Are they going to pound the rock with Travis Etienne? The whole game. Like Buffalo gives up rushing yards by the bucket in bunches. So I don't see this game being a shootout. I think the 52.5 is kind of high. I think that each team is going to score in bunch in like 2 or 3 touchdowns, and then they're going to struggle. Like if Buffalo scores, I think Buffalo scores in the second half. I think they take an early lead. The game kind of is ugly in the middle, and then Buffalo finds a way to put the points up and to put the pressure on Trevor Lawrence. I think he does show his true colors in this game. I think he does make the mistake, a critical mistake, and I just don't see Josh Allen making the critical mistake. I can't. I don't see Trevor. I just don't see it. I know Jacksonville's hot. I know Buffalo has a lot of holes, and I'm the Josh Allen hater, and I'm sitting there telling you that Josh Allen's going to win this game. So, That's it, man. That's my thoughts. I don't know what else to say on it.
All right, who wants to go next? Joey?
I'm going Buffalo.
I like that comment.
I say that is there's going to be 2 unsung heroes on these Buffalo teams. On this
Great
Buffalo
comment.
team. I like Ty Johnson and I like Dawson Knox. Not far as props go. I'm going to go with the foot narrative. I'm going 40+ rushing yards for Superman for Josh Allen on the ground at plus 111.
Joe, what do you think about the foot injury? You think that's going to affect his running at all, or is it adrenaline?
That's the reason I think I'm going to go with it. I think he practiced fully. He's cleared. No destination so far. So he's got to put this game on his back. He's got. So
you're not worried about the foot injury at all with Josh Allen. All right.
No. But I do like Ty Johnson. I do like Dawson Knox. Even though Kincaid, he's almost like a guy to me, just a jag, just a guy. The only thing I would hope Buffalo I hope they have the ball last, because you don't want Cam Little to get to half 50-yard line and he'll beat you at last second field goal.
67-yarder last week.
Yeah. But everybody's going to go with most people's going to go with Jacksonville. It's totally understandable, but this is Josh Allen and Buffalo's time. But now it depends on Tootin and ETN. If they keep the ball, just pound it and pound it and pound it. I mean, they give up a lot of run, like Joe's saying. So
That's right, Joe. I forgot you're a Bills fan.
Yeah,
Ty Johnson is definitely a great call, Joey. I like that. I didn't even. You know what? Because of their lack of a true number one target. You know, if I could see him getting involved. I like
13 and a half receiving total for Ty Johnson. I mean, yeah, it seems like Ty Johnson is making a big play or two in all these big games. I mean, he's always making a big play, so that's a solid one. What do you guys think about Brandon Cooks over 18 and a half? I don't mind that one.
He looks like
what's his longest reception? I would. It's probably around the same, right?
He might be their best receiver. I mean, who the hell?
They're not the other week.
They're not using Shakir like down the field anymore. They're just throwing all these freaking little screen routes to him, and I feel like they should open up Shakir a little bit more. Dan, what are your thoughts on this game here, man?
Well, I think
before you talk, Brandon Cook's longest reception is 12 and a half.
Nice. All right.
Let's take that over the
right.
I think what's interesting about this game and going to the fantasy side of the things is I feel like with the 51 and a half total or 52, wherever you're looking at, if you're at a one and done contest, if you're in the NFFC that I think we're all in and a lot of people watching are, you got to nail this game. I feel like you got to be on the right side of it. And with what player? Is it Allen? Is it Cook? Everybody's made great cases for everybody. The one thing I looked at today is Buffalo is the last 4 weeks, number 4 against fantasy for quarterbacks. They're number 1 against fantasy for wide receivers. I think Travis Etienne is the key for Jacksonville. His over combo yards is 82.5 over yards is what I took in that. But I think if they're going to win this game, they've got to start. And Joe said it too. They got to start with it. If they get behind, I think it's going to be tough to pass on them. But I think Etienne and they'll use Tootin as well. I think Jacksonville sneaks one out. I think it's another under game. But it's just going to be really interesting who plays. If you don't play Etienne, what receiver are you going in these contests? Things like where you have to pick a player from each team. So it's just a very curious game to me. I think it's going to decide some of these winners in the first and second rounds of our NFFC contest specifically.
Yeah. And, mostly I think most people are probably going to have Josh Allen to start. So you could be contrarian with, Trevor Lawrence. And, we got a couple people in the chat, Steve G and Rabbit Dad saying they can make a run to the Super Bowl, the Jags. And I even heard Ross Tucker say earlier on his show that he thinks whoever wins this game is going to the Super Bowl as well. So, the Jags are hot. I have a hard time believing in, trusting Trevor Lawrence versus Josh Allen. But Josh, let's get your thoughts first.
I'm as much of a Trevor Lawrence hater as Joe Carlton, but and I mean, me and Dan both are. We just don't have a whole lot of confidence in him. But the last 6-7 weeks, man, it's just been moment after moment where he comes and he's making these big passes and just putting the ball on a dime, and they're the hot hand. And I want a Bills Patriots AFC Championship game. Like, that's what I want to see. I think that's what everybody you want to see that. But I can't figure out a way unless Josh Allen just completely puts the Jaguars on his back. I just don't see how they can come out of Jacksonville with the win. Jimmy Cook's got to have a big game for him. But I just my heart's with Buffalo, but I just keep leaning the Jags. I'm gonna go with Trevor Lawrence and his legs because he is using his legs in spots. He's got his line of 30+ rushing yards is what I like. I mean, I think both of these quarterbacks, this game could get to a point if it's tight down the stretch where both of these quarterbacks are putting their teams on their back and using their legs a little bit. This is going to be a fun game to watch.
It is definitely going to be a great game to watch.
Oh yeah. Big injury for the Bills, though, losing their rookie corner, Maxwell Hairston. He's not going to play in this game, so that leaves their depth a little bit limited. And we're always seeing like Teron Johnson get hurt. Like he's always banged up somehow. They're going to have to rely on the veteran Tre'Davious White. They still got Christian Benford, but I know McDermott mentioned that in his press conference. Their depth was hurt a little bit by the loss of Hairston, who's been playing well this year as a rookie. He's been banged up, though, and in and out of the lineup. But yeah, I mean, I think McDermott, he is a good defensive player. He's a veteran. Even going way back with the Panthers, he's had his problems against Mahomes and Burrow in the playoffs. Specifically, I think Leslie Frazier was the coordinator for a couple of those games, the 13-2, and also that snow game against Burrow where they were just dropping it off the P Ryan constantly. And like Chase was just running 5-yard curl routes because they were playing such soft coverage. And Burrow just like his completion rate in that game was like 70% or something like that. But I think he could figure some things out here against Lawrence. And, maybe this run here, this hot run comes to an end by the Jags offense, and Lawrence and Cohen and McDermott and his defense kind of put a stop to it. Not having Ed Oliver's a big loss as well. But yeah, when it comes down to it, I think the Bills will be able to run the ball. I think Allen will make enough plays. Having Kincaid back is huge. Hopefully they use Shakir down the field. Maybe Cooks gives a little bit. Maybe Shavers, they get him involved. Gabe Davis, I think, he have a couple touchdowns with freaking Mitch Trubisky last week. Maybe he could bring back his playoff magic a little bit. Dawson Knox has been playing well down the stretch. They still have a good offensive line. They're a veteran team. They've been dying to get to a Super Bowl. If they lose this game, they're going to be bashed all offseason. Josh Allen's going to get ripped no matter what. So they got to win this game. I think they pull it out. I have a hard time, going against the Bills in this game. I could see the Jags winning, though. I mean, they've been playing hot. They're on they're home. And then the problem I'm going to go with is, in a 52 total, I don't know. Again, I'm taking chalky picks here, and I haven't really got to deep dive on a lot of these props, but Josh Allen minus 120 anytime touchdown. I don't know. That just seems like a no-brainer to me. Maybe I'm just taking these two chalky ones, but between him and Jacobs, and Rabbit Dad said don't even bother taking the Jacobs anytime. I don't know why, but he's all out hate on the Packers. But I'll take the minus 120.
He's also in on Brenton Strade. Somebody want to tell him how good Buffalo is against the tight end?
How good's Buffalo, Dan, against tight ends?
I don't have it in front of me, but they're good.
The other day, me and Dan was working on a team the other day, and I called somebody out, and I believe Buffalo's number one against tight ends in fantasy.
They are. They allow the least fantasy points to tight ends, just 2 touchdowns all year, and the least amount of catches, just 38. They do have those athletic tight ends, athletic linebackers, and that's one of the reasons why they get run on, because they have that smaller, nickel package in. But the Bills, tough against tight ends. Shout out to Brenton Strange, though. He's the truth. He's legit. He's a good player. And he's been a nice target for Lawrence. And they're going to have to deal with Parker Washington and Jacoby Myers, who I thought the Patriots should have kept over Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't know why they ever did that. But, maybe Brian. And you got Brian Thomas. Like, he's the most talented receiver they have, but he's kind of staying on the outside. And Lawrence is kind of hitting guys over the middle more now in this Cohen system. And we saw that in the beginning of the year. They were trying to do that with Thomas, and he kind of seemed a little skittish. He was a little bit banged up. So they're kind of keeping him away from that, and they're using these other guys in that role. And Lawrence it seems like he's very, very comfortable. He knows exactly where he's going, on these play actions, and he finds the outlets, and he's been playing very, very efficiently. So it's going to be a hell of a game. It's going to be a great way to start off Sunday football. And, thank God, because these last couple of weeks with all these terrible quarterback play, it's been kind of rough watching these games, especially as the fantasy season wind down. So, all right. Any last thoughts here?
Yeah, I just want to shout out Rabbit Dad because he's got the best even though he gave us 2 weird ass props, but prop bets didn't tell us to save money on Josh Jacobs, but he got the best comment so far. He said I almost threw. He thinks I threw up in my mouth talking about Josh Allen and the Bills winning this game. He's 100% right. It hurt me to say that, and I struggled the whole time. but I don't see him losing this game. I just don't.
Yeah, one thing I will say about Buffalo in terms, Steve, you mentioned I think the leash is going to, extend it too long with McDermott. I was telling Joey today, besides Belichick, I mean, you could attach that to Brady. There hasn't been a defensive head coach that won a Super Bowl since Harbaugh. You got Arians, you got Peterson, you got Sirianni, you got Reed, you got McVay. I mean, I think I'm not impressed with McDermott. I think they've blown some games at the end. It was for whatever reason as a head coach.
Are they one of the teams that's called on Harbaugh that hasn't fired their coach yet? Or are they waiting to see what happens?
Yeah, I think McDermott. I think he's same thing in Pittsburgh. I think it's time to move on, Buffalo.
Yeah, heck, as a Buffalo fan, bring back Marv Levy. At least we get there. We lose Super Bowl, but at least I get there.
Hey, look, when you've got somebody as special as Josh Allen, and you're not making it past the first round in the playoffs or getting to the Super Bowl and winning, you got to get rid of that coach, right?
I mean, look at the defense this year. What the points they've given up this year? It's 20+ points every. I mean, that's McDermott. I mean, the defense isn't good. I don't know what he is as a head coach. He's just not.
I don't know if you picked up on what I was saying. I was saying that guy in Cincinnati should be gone too.
Bottom line, Joe Burrow's not there. Patrick Mahomes isn't there. Josh Allen, this is his chance. Buffalo cannot lose. They're not gonna. I just don't see them losing this game, man.
My heart's with you, Joe. I just want to hear it.
I don't.
Jamar Chase is in the chat saying, "Yo, you a Bengals fan?" Saying, make sure you watch me play. And then we got.
We'll see you in September.
we got Nate in here. I did a show last night, and Nate was saying that Joey B is the truth.
He is.
Joey Brown is the truth, and I said, "Hell yeah!" So he's saying Joe Burrow is the GOAT. Let's be real. Another Bengals fan here with Nate.
Let's see him go to. Let's see him go to the Super Bowl. Forget winning the Super Bowl.
By the eye test, I have to say he probably is the best NFL quarterback in the league by the eye test. But again, his defense has been shitty, and his head coach really shitty. So he don't have no Super Bowl wins.
And I think if they, this year, if they win, they're most likely going to go to Denver. I'm not a big Denver fan this year. I think a lot of it's, I think they're a little, overrated, so to speak, but the record, but it's tough going in next week with the rest of Denver team into the altitude. It's never easy. I mean, that matters. I've been it definitely matters.
Buddy says they're losing. Maybe he's talking about the Bills there.
Yeah. I wouldn't hate it. I just don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something.
We got some Burrow. I mean, it's going to be a tough task. I mean, again, the Jaguars are red hot, 9-1 their last 10. They're home. But I agree with you, Mike McDermott. Like if he doesn't get it, if they lose this game, he's going to be on the hot seat. The Buffalo media is going to tear him to shreds. So
he got reputation under Jimmy Johnson's defense in Philadelphia. They gave him, he did an okay job in Carolina, defensive coordinator. As a head coach,
I think he's a good head coach. I don't, maybe he's just not like that coach to get you to the next level though. And again, his defense has been shredded in the playoffs, but again, mostly by Mahomes and Burrow. The other teams he's faced, they haven't really faced any great quarterbacks besides those two, but Mahomes gets them every time. I think the Chiefs, again, they average like 35 points against them in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So you can't have that happen and, expect your offense to win, pull out these games, especially the 13-second game. I don't know if that was more of a Leslie Frazier than a McDermott thing. I think Leslie Frazier was out at the year after when they lost to the Bengals. Then he left the team. And Leslie Frazier, he was kind of reputable as a defensive coordinator, but yeah, it's going to be a hell of a game. It's good. Obviously this is a must watch. This is a no distraction type of game. where you can't have the kids bothering you. You can't have everybody, your aunt trying to call you or anything. This is a strictly, a game where you got to, all these games for the most part, no distractions as much as you can manage. I know we all got some, distractions coming in left and right by various different things.
I'm going to miss a fourth quarter, at least I'll say that Lincoln Financial and the TV's there.
Oh, nice. You going to the game?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I was actually thinking about going to the Jacksonville Buffalo game. It's like a 2-hour drive, but I don't think I don't think I'm going to pull it off. All right, let's get into the next game. I believe this game is at 4:00 or 4:30 rather. 49ers, Eagles. 49ers defense. The spread here, they're getting 4.5. The total's 44.5. The 49ers defense is, they played it good against Seattle, and their offense took a dump. But, against freaking Chicago, letting up 38, letting up 27 to Phillip Rivers, 24 to Tennessee. Their secondary hasn't been great. 42 to the Rams. And now they have another injury that they're going to have to deal with. And obviously losing Fred Warner and Bosa were monster injuries. But, Mike, I guess I'll start with you in this game. Your Eagles, I think you were kind of doubting them all season. You didn't see them getting back to the Super Bowl, but do you see them winning this game here at home?
They turned it around a little bit in the month of December, but I think Lane Johnson's coming back.
Yeah.
That's big for the offensive line. They're healthy now. Carter's back. The defense has been unbelievable. Frisco, they had a chance to go, win to play every game in their stadium, and they came up. They couldn't even score any points on their home field. I think it's a blowout. I don't think I think Purdy's going to feel the pressure.
Yep.
The weather's going to be fine. Weather's not going to be a problem. I think the Eagles are just going to come out. They rested. Sirianni took a little bit. I thought he did the right move. People actually wanted them to put Devontae Smith after. I don't know why he did that. To let him play to get the 1,000 yards, which meant nothing. When he rested Barkley for what might have been the most prestigious record of all, the rushing record last year. But people actually wanted him to put him in the game in the fourth quarter. Imagine a guy coming in cold. It's easy to pull a hamstring or that would have been ridiculous. I think it's not going to be a game. I think they're going to pull him out.
All right.
But you see me talk negatively. I think right now everything's aligned for them. Their health hasn't been better all year. And Lane Johnson, believe me,
that's a huge.
I wouldn't be surprised if Barkley has a monster game like he hasn't all season. I think you could see last year's Barkley easily.
Fangio's defense have held Shanahan's units in the last 4 matchups to just 10 points per game. We just saw Purdy struggle against the Seattle defense. Mike McDonald's done a hell of a job with that defense coming over from Baltimore. And Purdy kind of reminds me of Chad Pennington a little bit. I remember Chad Pennington. He was great.
Great comparison, Steve.
he was great against like shitty defense. Whenever he went up against a good defense, they would score like 10 points max. He just couldn't do anything ever. His arm just wasn't strong enough. That freaking Paul Hackett offense they used to run. It was just a disaster. So that's why they can never really, make a deep run with Pennington. But Josh, I'll go to you next. What do you like in this game?
This is, to me, I think the Eagles come away the winners in this one. CMC's always he's always kind of a wild card on whether they can get, if they can get him going, if he can get rolling. Listening to Michael talk, he's the hometown guy. Immediately wanted to go to Saquon Barkley's rushing yards. What they've got him at 80. They've got his total yards on the game at 110 to get to plus money. That was going to actually be one of my questions to Michael was, are they getting Johnson back on the line?
Yeah, he's playing
in that. So
Sirianni's playing possum, saying, "Look, he's playing." He could have played last week if they had a meaningful game.
I think we're in the playoffs, and the Eagles want to run the ball, so they establish the run, and that opens up the passing game. So I'm gonna go with Barkley's alt line of 110. It's just
like
barely
that.
plus money, but it is. I like that.
You might catch a chunk of it in the first series.
Could very well.
That's what they've done early. At least last year.
These guys have been to the playoffs. They've been to the Super Bowl. They've won the Super Bowl. The regular season's boring to them. They just got to get there. Now and
they did a good job of keeping Barkley off the IR. So I could see them unleashing him for sure.
Yeah, Seattle had a lot of success on their defense last week running the ball. And Walker and Charbonnet were running all over them. And we really haven't seen much of that, especially both of them go off this year. Joey, what do you got here?
I think this is Eagles get right game. I'm going Hurts 3+ passing touchdowns at plus 325, and I like Goddard. They're 24th against the tight end, and this is their time to shine. Philadelphia wins this game, and I think Philadelphia is my pick to go to Super Bowl too in the NFC.
One more thing. I'm in the ticket business, basically. Ticket prices, I was telling Joey, besides Dallas, ticket prices have always been close, with Niners. They travel well. Prices are down. Niner fans aren't coming. They're just not coming this week. They came in the NFC Championship game that one year. You had a decent – I was surprised with the Niners supporters. They traveled. If they're playing in L.A. against the Rams, it's a 49ers home game. I think they know it, and I think after that game last week, it's going to be tough flying cross country. Beat up, off a real downer.
All right, Dan, what do you think?
I think if I was watching this show right now, I'd run to FanDuel and DraftKings and put about $1,000 on the 49ers money line because I agree with all you guys. I'm on the Eagles side. They're top 5 against quarterbacks last month. Philly D's with getting Carter back and everybody back. They look fantastic. I look for Barkley to just run and run and run. And Joe, you made a great point. They held him back all year. And I think they're going to release him now. I look for on the other side, it's just going to be try to get McCaffrey going. We saw him struggle the last game. So I think this is another really interesting game for us, fantasy contest. CMC is going to be 95% owned in one and dones. Maybe not high on one and dones, but the NFFCs. Are you willing to go out and grab a Kittle or a defense or a kicker or something and try to gain an edge there? But it's tough to go away from CMC. But I think overall, Eagles, with their experience, I think you're going to win a boring game. So my prop was the under 44.5 for the game. I swear I don't bet unders, but man, these are all the stream under me. I hate bet unders. And if I could throw one more thing out there, Steve.
Yeah.
We were talking about Joe Burrow. I don't want to talk about the Bengals, but the biggest Joe Burrow fan I know is Josh's boy Jacob, I think he's still watching us. He did a Joe Burrow impression of 2022 today. I'll let Josh
blew out his appendix.
Jacob, we're pulling for you, buddy. Hope you do get better. I know you're watching.
Oh,
you probably passed out on meds.
That's rough.
But
Yeah.
I hope you get feeling better, man. And keep watching. And I hope you don't win the one and done contest that I'm hosting. Hope you get second.
All right, Joe, what do you think, man?
I'm with these guys. Philadelphia is going to beat the crap out of them. My prop is Brock Purdy 2+ interceptions at plus 249. I love those odds. I mean, there's a chance he doesn't get the 2 interceptions, but at plus 249, I think it's worth the bet. He has thrown 2 or more interceptions in 3 different games this year, so there's that. Since week 10, Philadelphia defense has been lights out since the bye week. They're allowing just 14.5 points per game. That's number 1 in the NFL in that time span. They held Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills to 13 points, just a handful of weeks ago. Their defense is peaking going into the playoffs, and Saquon Barkley is going to get unleashed. Mentioned that earlier. 49ers defense has just been downward spiral in the second half of the year. And I believe CMC is a little bit banged up, right? He's not 100%, I don't think.
He looked like it last game.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I don't see any injury marks here for him, but
no.
no.
I mean, he just doesn't look 100% to me. And you know,
I remember a couple weeks ago he was, or maybe it was a week or two ago, he was doing something on the sideline. I don't know if you guys caught that. So maybe that's what maybe there is something going on. They're just not.
They're downplaying it or not saying anything.
I mean, remember a couple years ago with CMC, yeah, he's fine, and then freaking all of a sudden he's got the Achilles and he's out, and that's why everybody was scared off him this year.
If he's in pain, it definitely affects the way he plays. That's kind of what I'm getting at there by him being banged up. But yeah, man, I think Philadelphia wins pretty easily.
Yeah, spread's 4.5. I mean, I have a tough time taking the Niners too. They could. The only way they're going to win this game is in a shootout. Somehow, if Purdy could, just continue to score. Maybe they pick off Hurts a couple times, or maybe there's a couple turnovers. But yeah, the Eagles' defense is just rock solid, and I just think Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown are going to have good games. I like Devonta Smith over 55 and a half receiving yards. Maybe the Niners cover somehow. I would probably lean to the over. I think that the Eagles are going to score, maybe into the 30s in this game. And then the Niners will be playing catch up, maybe get a couple of touchdowns at the end. They'll, push it over. But yeah, after what I saw last week with Brock Purdy, we've kind of seen him struggle, at certain times. But maybe Shanahan pulls something out of his ass here and comes up with a great game plan. I mean, you got Kittle, you got CMC, you got Jennings, Pearsall. He was kind of in and out of the lineup last week. So they have all the weapons, just their defense. I just don't trust it against the Eagles. And I feel like Hurts and Barkley and Brown and, Smith can kind of tear them up. But, their offense against the Bills was hideous. I mean, like pass, especially in the second half. I mean, that was a complete disaster.
Well, I think they shut it down. They
did, yeah,
because of the injuries. They just people wanted Hurts, They
just
wanted to get out of the game with Phillips getting nicked up and Barkley kind of got nicked up. They just wanted to run out the clock, basically.
Yeah, Petula, though, hasn't really been good all year. I think they're definitely.
No, he's not good, but that's.
Yeah, they're definitely missing Kellen Moore. Huh?
Fangio is. We basically shut out the Chiefs.
Yeah,
they shut out the Bills. I mean, they shut down people. I don't think.
Well, he shut down Shanahan last 4 matches, 10 points a game. So
I think we knocked out 2 quarterbacks the last time we played them in the playoffs. I mean, Purdy, he doesn't. When look at the schedule, when they made their winning streak, they played nobody. So, they had it in their hands to go, do something. I don't think history could have been made, right? It could have gone 5 games, right? One in regular season, 4 play, and there's 5 games in the Super Bowl.
I mean, they have with Shanahan and their offense, they have the potential to score. I just think it's a bad matchup for San Francisco. So yeah, I'll lean San Francisco. I'll lean the over, and I'm going to go with Devonta Smith as my prop over 55.5. I just think it kind of scares me. We're all on the Eagles here, but again, I think the only way the Eagles lose here is if they kind of beat themselves with turnovers. And Purdy just plays a flawless game. But I kind of like where we're at. I think we're making a good decision here on this game with the Eagles. All right, anybody want to say anything before we get to the next game?
Michael, what was Michael's prop? I didn't get that one.
I kind of like you. I like what you said with Barkley. I'm big at him, and I think they're going to get off to a hot start. Especially Lane Johnson. I mean, they ran the ball on the right side. Fred Johnson and Lane Johnson, they're not nearly related. I mean, 2 different football players. So.
Rabbit Dad says Barkley on underdog, 79.5 rush yards seems low. Probably going to play that. Yeah, these guys all like that to go over this week. We got a Ravens fan in the building, and what a crazy ending for them. I thought Derrick Henry was going to will them into the playoffs, but it didn't work out. Jeremy Williams says my second pick is the Panthers will put a stomping on the Rams. 25-35. That is not a spoiler. That is a prediction. All right. That would be, shock the world there for sure. He said something about his girl and Jalen Hurts. Beating the hell out of the Niners. So shout out to you. All right, let's get into the next game. And it's going to be Sunday Night Football between the Los Angeles Chargers. We still got one Harbaugh brother floating around the NFL. Shout out to John Harbaugh, 18 years with the Ravens. I was kind of shocked by that. I really didn't see that coming, but Jim is still there. He's going to try to rep for his brother, getting 3.5 on the road, 46 total. Joey, I'll start with you here. Do you think the Chargers have a chance to win this game, or do you think that their offensive line is just going to present too many problems like it's kind of shown its ugly head all year?
This is a very interesting game, and Joe can probably contest this. I know their offensive line is bad, but New England don't have a big bad pass rush. I mean, they really don't. I mean, I don't think they'll win, but the pass rush don't scare me. It just depends if they get, if Hampton and Vidal can keep the chains moving. See how healthy Herbert is. I mean, I think New England should win. I mean, they're a pretty good team. I think they could come out of the AFC, but that's one of my favorites out of there. But I don't know. I think it'd be a close game. I think it'd be a little bit closer than what people think. I think it'd come down to a last-second field goal or something.
Yeah, I mean, everybody liked the Chargers last year for the most part against the Texans, and they laid a huge egg in that game. And then a couple of years ago when they played Jacksonville, they had that lead, and Lawrence had like 3 interceptions, and the Jaguars came back and won that game. So the Chargers continue to charge. We kind of thought it would change a little bit with Harbaugh, but they're still kind of coming up empty. Dan, what do you think here?
First thing I thought when this game is I saw the 46.5, and this is one game I thought would be a few more points. The Chargers are one against the running back the last month, but I think this is a Drake May game. I think he goes nuts. I think the Chargers can score points too. I don't, like Joey said, I don't think New England's defense is going to – they're very optimistic with some of their how many they scored 5 defensive touchdowns, I think, this year, but I think they can be scored on. But I love Drake May this week. If I'm playing any kind of contest, he's probably going to be my quarterback over Stafford this week. I think my prop is his over-under is 1.5 touchdowns is -114. That's a smash. I would go 3 touchdowns even. But I was curious too. They didn't have any lines for the Chargers because Hampton's lines would be intriguing as well. Because if the Chargers want any chance in this game, they're going to have to run Hampton and even Vidal, I think. The Pats are bottom 10 the last month against the run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chargers defense is, they're still pretty solid. They're a good unit. So, we'll see. I mean, the total's 46. Josh, what do you like here?
I don't like teams that have to travel 3,000 miles unless it's the LA Rams playing against the Carolina Panthers. And I think that if this game was in LA, then I could maybe lean towards the Chargers. I like New England in this. I mean, Drake May can pass the ball. He can run the ball. They've got 2 solid running backs with Ramondre and Travion. They're all right against the pass. I know they've struggled against the run, but I think, they've got a pretty good package there as a team. For LA to win, I feel like they need to find a way to take the top off the defense. That's where they seemed to kind of thrive early in the season, was getting Quentin going and Keenan. So I don't know if Keenan Allen's got any juice left in him, because when we picked him this year, we said we got him for 6 games. That's all we need, because we had Rashee Rice coming. And that's about all we got out of him, was 6 games. He still played. He didn't get hurt, but he didn't really have too many fantasy points after that 6th game. So if Keenan can find some separation, get him going, maybe take the top off on a play or two to Quentin, and, Hampton and Vidal, I think both of them are a little banged up, but it's the playoffs, so, he's going to play. I just like New England in this game. I can't go against Vrabel. I can't go against New England at home. And I didn't catch who Dan said for the 1.5 touchdowns.
Drake May.
Was that passing or running?
Yes, passing.
Passing. That's what I thought. All right. You'll have to come back to me on my prop. That's what I thought he had.
Joey, I just saw your text, man. Are you taking off or are you sticking around?
No, I'm good.
All right.
And my prop too was I'm gonna go Justin Herbert 40+ rushing yards at +190. He runs more this year than I've ever seen him run. So
40. Oof.
That's kind of high, but it's tempting.
he's averaging.
Why is it 40? I got 28.5.
I'm on DraftKings.
Oh, you boosted it up. Boosted it up. Yeah. That's a ladder bet. Yeah, that's a ladder bet. Yeah.
He took it to the plus money.
Okay.
Could be possible if Hampton's out. Possible.
By the way, the weather in this game looks like it's going to be 10 degrees. So it's going to be freaking brick out there.
That's going to be when it's my turn, that's going to be part of my argument.
All right. And by the way, Buffalo, Jacksonville, 70 degrees, perfect weather. And then San Francisco, Philly, about 40 degrees. Looks like there's going to be no rain, just a little bit of wind. So no concerns. But 10 degrees, or actually temper around freezing. I'm sorry. So maybe like 30 degrees with a 10-mile-an-hour wind. But it's still going to be cold as shit, and that's not good for a California team. Traveling across the country, but at least it's only going to be, 5 o'clock. It's not the other way around for the East Coast team, where it's a little bit later for them traveling to the West Coast. But all right, did we get everybody except for what? Joe and Mike on this game so far? Mike, you want to go first?
Want me to go?
Yeah.
I mean, I like New England. I mean, I don't love them. I mean, New England, they had a favorable schedule this year. They're just trying to look at, that's not their fault. I mean, they started Raiders, Dolphins, Steelers, Panthers when they weren't good, Bills, Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons, Bay wasn't that, Jets, they played the Bengals and the Giants. I mean, they've given up a lot of points. Joe mentioned it. They give up, their defense. It's been really the May show, and I think they're going to win because I don't think the Chargers offensively are going to be able to do enough, especially in the passing game. It's I think Keenan Allen's been invisible, right, since for months. He was key to their offense. People were surprised how effectively they were passing the ball early in the season with Harbaugh. He's usually run-oriented. I think New England takes. I think May being the best quarterback in that division is going to be the key. He's going to carry him.
All right, Joe. Did you have a prop in this game, Mike, or did I miss it?
Yeah, one prop I do like. I like the over for Butte, 26.5 yards.
Okay.
I think he's going to make he's a big play. I think he's going to make a big play. I think Joe, wasn't he been nicked up this year? Butte?
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to go over that total rather easily.
All right. Yeah, I mean he's caught some bombs this year. Drake May will definitely take some shots to him for sure.
Catch it on one shot. It could be payday.
Joe, I'll let you go first. Before I go, obviously, but well, actually, you know what? I'll let you finish. I'll just give my thoughts real quick. I'm gonna take the Chargers to cover at least plus 3.5. Not sure about the total. I could kind of see it being a defensive game, but I kind of like Harbaugh and Herbert and the experience here, and they still got a lot of weapons. I mean, yeah, Hampton may not play. He didn't practice today. He definitely could be out. Shout out to Sean Leak for subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you. But Gatson, he started out hot. He kind of reminds me like Jared Cook a little bit, but he's still another playmaker for them. And maybe Keenan Allen steps up. I know they were kind of Trey Lance was force feed him the ball to get him that $1 million incentive, which he got, which is crazy. But Ladd McConkey could step up, and then Derwin James in this defense. I mean, this is a sound defense. So, I think it is fair to say the Patriots have played a pretty soft schedule, but they have dominated in those games, and they've looked very good. And obviously, we kind of saw the uptick as they brought over all these good signings from other teams. So Vrabel is just a hell of a coach. The Titans, losing him was, they had some problems with ownership, and the Patriots, they had some years where they struggled after Brady, but now they got Drake May and they got another freaking coach. So it wasn't too much suffering for the Patriots fans. But I think the Chargers are going to cover here, and I think they have a legit chance to win the game too. So I'm going to take the Chargers and the points. Joe, what do you think?
So I'm not going to lie. The matchup scares the shit out of me as a Patriots fan. Chargers have a top-notch pass defense. They're strong against the pass defense. I don't know if I like the booty. I mean, the 24.5 yards is pretty low. But as far as him making a big play,
don't think you like the booty. What are you talking about?
The booty, the Keyshawn booty play. Well, it depends on what booty we're talking about. But no, all seriousness, the Chargers play a type of zone defense that takes away the big play. So that's why I'm kind of – I mean, the 22.5 yards isn't a lot of yards to beat, but I don't see him going for like a 68-yard touchdown pass. Steve, you brought up the weather, 10 degrees.
No, it was 10 mile an hour winds, but it's going to be freezing temperatures. So maybe with the wind chill it gets, who knows, but we'll see. I think it's going to be like in the 20s probably.
It's still cold. So – I remember a game in 2023 when the Patriots were real bad. I think they were the year they won 3 or 4 games. They played the Chargers late in the season. It was cold, and I actually brought the box score up here now. The Chargers only won the game 6-0. This was probably the worst Patriots team that we ever had since the 1-15 days in the early 90s. They forced the Chargers to punt 8 times. Justin Herbert was only 5 of 15 on third down conversions, and he struggled throughout the game. So I think that he struggles in cold weather. The Chargers, Josh, you brought up, they're traveling from the West Coast. They're coming into a hostile environment. New England having home field advantage makes me feel a little bit better about the matchup. But it's definitely an awful matchup for the Patriots. My prop bet is Drake May 30-plus rushing yards at plus 118. I like this because, like we talked about earlier, the Chargers have a real good pass defense, and they can get after the quarterback a little bit. So I could see Drake May having to take off quite a bit this game. I think he gets to that 30-yard mark. The Chargers given up 30-plus rushing yards 5 times this year. Pretty much all mobile quarterbacks. Bo Nix twice, Jaden Daniels once, Patrick Mahomes once, Jackson Dott once. But the quarterback can run on the Chargers based on just the scheme that they play. in the matchup. I do think that I don't think it goes over. I think it's going to be a low scoring defensive game, and the Patriots do just enough to get the win. If this game, I'm with you, Josh. If this game was in LA somehow, I would not be confident in the Patriots winning. It's just an awful matchup for them, I think. The Patriots defense has been suspect at times in recent weeks. I feel like maybe, some like the Buffalo game, for instance, they shut them down for one half, and then the second half, Buffalo was all over them. So they've been inconsistent at times, and you can run the ball against them. The offensive line being as bad as it is for the Chargers is probably going to do them in. I think if they had a healthy offensive line, we're talking about a different result possibly. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible here because the matchup really does scare the shit out of me. Justin Herbert if Justin Herbert plays to his ceiling and he finds a way to crack the Patriots pass defense and the Chargers passing offense gets going, it could be a problem. Because I don't see it being a high score. I don't see the Patriots putting up 34. We'll say that. So that's where I'm at with this game. I see the Patriots winning something like 19-10, maybe 16-10, 16-13, something like that. It's not going to be high scoring. It's not going to be pretty, but I do think they get the job done.
Joe, you think the Patriots running game will be successful?
Yes, I do. I do think that both Ramondre and Trevion will be involved very much. I actually think Ramondre may be more involved than Trevion overall. The Chargers, I was looking at the Chargers giving up passing yards to the running back, and they're pretty stout in that department. So I think Stevenson probably gets more usage than Trevion. But Trevion can break it anytime. So
think they can get 150 yards rushing between the two of them at least?
I think it's right. It ends up right around there. I think Drake May does a lot of running in this game, like I mentioned earlier. I like his 30-yard prop. Right. He's been running more in recent weeks. I think he has 25 rushing attempts in the last 3 games. I could be wrong. I'm just going off the top of my head based on what I was looking at earlier. But just from watching the Patriots games, he's been running more in the last few weeks. And, the Chargers play that scheme where they sit back, they take away the big play, they give you underneath. He's going to be forced to dink. Drake May's going to dink and dunk. I don't see them getting any big touchdowns unless Trevion gets behind the defense. And that's basically it. It's going to be an ugly win for the Patriots.
Yeah, we were mentioning cold weather, and all of a sudden the Russian girls started jumping in the chat. They're all over the place. They're loving the shows, as you can see. So we started talking about booty and cold weather, and then all of a but yeah, Ramondre, man, he's so underrated. Like, he's always been a really good receiving back. And he's been playing great. So, some of his props I'm definitely looking at. Which Patriots receiver do you see having the biggest day? Do you think it's Diggs?
Yes, I think it's Diggs. I think they use him underneath. He's going to take a beating, but I could see him getting. Were we talking about this before we went on air? I don't remember. I could see him getting 6 to 9 catches underneath. They used him. They're going to use him almost like the way they used him against Buffalo the first time they played Buffalo, where they leaned on him to move the chains. This is kind of why, like I mentioned, Mike likes Kayshon Boutte. I think they contain him. I'm not going to lie. But that line's pretty low, 22.5 yards. All it takes is one catch. So
how about Henry? You think he's how's the Chargers against the tight end? I mean, Henry's been a touch. He's been
Henry's like a safety valve. I could see him getting 3 catches for like 48 yards.
Chargers are ninth against tight ends.
I don't think he gets heavily targeted, but I do think he makes some key first downs.
They like him in the end zone too.
Yeah.
And shout out to Quentin Johnson on the other side. He's had a good year. I mean, this has been his best year by far. He's been making big plays, and Herbert trusts him. 35.5 yards for his prop. Diggs is 53.5. Lab McConkey's like, we saw what he did. I think it was in the playoffs. Was it last year?
Yeah.
Where he went off. Did he go off against the Texans in that game, or was that? Yeah, that was last year.
That was Johnson had a. They both did.
Or maybe it was down the stretch. But I mean, McConkey. I mean, he's a great receiver. It's been a little bit crowded for him this year, but he could step up too. So, yeah, I mean, with Joe's thoughts, I kind of like the Chargers keeping it close. This is going to be a tough game.
Good game.
It's going to be low scoring and ugly.
Yeah, I mean, do you think both of these offenses could open up a little bit and get this game over too, or no?
I don't see it. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't see it.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Joe?
Let me ask y'all this. Do y'all think – I know the Chargers are decent against the pass, but can Kyle Williams break one open with his speed? Could they hit him deep?
I was going to mention that earlier. Do you think he's going to get some more playing time in this game? He's been getting a little bit more down the stretch here, maybe over Boudet at Boudet's expense. I don't know. I don't see a prop for him, though.
Who's that?
Kyle Williams, the rookie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Collins comes out of nowhere. I mean, he's just guy could come. Sometimes his box score looks like he's a top fantasy wide receiver. You look at it, but he's hit or miss, right, Joe?
Well,
Collins.
His snap share is not very high. Kyle Williams. I mean,
but Collins, they like him for his blocking. I mean, he's active, right? Pretty much consistently. But
I think Matt Collins is hurt though.
Is he?
He's on IR, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, Matt Collins is out.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that helps Kyle Williams' case, obviously, too. I mean, I think Kyle Williams is going to be a nice piece for them going forward. I mean, that was a good pick by them. Getting paired with Drake May. I'm just trying to look at what his snaps were last week. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Pick that up. Kyle Williams last week, he played 45% of the snaps. So, and then Chisholm was getting thrown there a little bit too. Chisholm's another nice player. Demario Douglas was just 23%. Boudet was the most, 59%. So it's not going to come out at the expense of him. Seems like Demario maybe is taking a hit a little bit here with Chisholm and Kyle Williams stepping up. So, yeah, they got some good weapons, man. And then you got 2 solid veteran tight ends in Henry and Hooper, and then 2 solid backs. The Patriots are a very, very formidable team. Wouldn't surprise me to see them make a run to the Super Bowl. It's going to be another great game.
That's another thing, too, I want to ask you all. I know we've mentioned earlier in the show, like a Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence. Would anybody consider a Justin Herbert, Drake May combo at quarterback, too, in this contest?
Based on how I think the game's going to go, I'm going to say no on that one, Joe.
On the game
I don't see many points being scored. In this
also going forward, you're looking at both that are going to go against Denver and Houston. I mean, that going forward, there are going to be defensive battles probably the next week if either team wins.
All right. Well, we're about an hour and 40 in. And if you guys haven't liked already, please like the show, subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to be doing another couple more best ball drafts. We'll see if these guys want to join me in the next couple nights. We might be doing another live draft for a contest we're doing. I might do that live tomorrow. So we got some March Madness stuff coming up soon as we get into college basketball. We'll be breaking that down, so make sure you're hitting the subscribe button. Appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Let's get into the last game. Monday Night Football in Pittsburgh after we just saw a hell of a Sunday night game between them and the Ravens. We talked about it earlier. John Harbaugh fired after the game. Now there's talk of they want to find somebody to get Lamar going. It's just it's crazy because the Ravens, they were one of the best teams. They looked like a Super Bowl contender, and now it seems like it's kind of falling apart a little bit. And the Steelers, Mike Tomlin, people have been calling for him to get fired year after year after year, but he continues to make the playoffs. But the problem is every time he gets in the playoffs, recently he loses in the first round the last 4 times. They haven't won a playoff game. I was looking at this earlier since 2016. So it's been a long time. And again, they've lost their last 4 wild card games, but they have some kind of crazy record where they've won like 34 straight games on Monday night since 1991. So, we'll see what happens here. I mean, the Texans defense is the best defense in the league. They got those 2 corners with Stingley and Lassiter, and that safety Bullock is like an unbelievable playmaker. I know Greg Cosell, I've been watching him on Ross Tucker. He says he's like one of the best safeties in the league. And then you throw in freaking Will Anderson and that bully Daniel Hunter, who's an absolute beast. So, they've done a hell of a job on defense, and then they got weapons on offense too. Their running game stinks, but you got Nico, veteran, and Christian Kirk. Dalton Schultz is solid, and then Jaden Higgins, the rookie, and Stroud can make some plays. And then Pittsburgh seems like their offense is like just throw it to Kenny Gainwell 20 times a game. But I mean, last game they didn't have DK Metcalf. He's been out 2 or 3 games with a suspension, so he'll be back. Sucks losing Darnell Washington. But Dan, I'll start with you on this one. Do you think Pittsburgh can win this game, considering their record on Monday Night Football at home? This is a great atmosphere for Pittsburgh Steelers football. This is a classy organization. It seems like a type of game they would win. They just got a miracle way into the playoffs. But do you think the Texas defense is just going to present too many problems?
Yeah, historically, if you look at some of those numbers, you can make a case for Pittsburgh. Absolutely. I don't see it. I don't know how they do it. To me, this is more obvious in the Rams game. I think they're given with 39.5 over-under, they're giving Pittsburgh an implied like 18 points, I think. I don't see how Pittsburgh gets to double digits with the way Rodgers has played on this against Houston defense. I think Houston just destroy. I think they make them look like a college team. Maybe I'm really high on Houston in this postseason. They're my Super Bowl pick for the AFC. But I think Houston D just comes out and I know Joey, I think you're the same way. I think Houston D just comes out and destroys them. I think this is a decent game for Stroud. I don't think it's a huge scoring game, but I really like the progression I've seen this year on one specific player. I love Jaden Higgins. His numbers are really low for this game at 28.5 for receiving, which is my prop. You could also go over 2.5 catches, or his touchdown prop is plus 400. I love Jaden Higgins. He seems to be getting a lot of those first reads. With Nico taking that number 1 corner on the other side, he's just been Stroud's first look. So that's somebody I like. But yeah, I think Houston wins this game, and I don't think it's close.
Yeah, I forgot to mention the spread. The spread is 3. Steelers getting 3 at home, 39.5 total. So pretty low. Looks like it's just going to be cold, nothing crazy with precipitation. Just going to be kind of like New England. It's just going to be like almost freezing. Joey, what do you think?
I agree with everything what Dan said, but I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna these people out there playing this contest. I'm using CJ Stroud. I'm gonna go out on the record here and say maybe it's wild card weekend. I think he could be the highest scoring quarterback this week. I'm just gonna shot in the dark. I'm gonna go with Stroud. I'm gonna use him, and I think they get it done. I mean, my prop is Dalton Schultz 50+ receiving yards plus 126. Pittsburgh is awful against the tight end. 30th, they're 28th against the wide receivers, 28th against the quarterback. I think this is the one game if you want to use Stroud, you better. I mean, this is the game to use him. I think so. I think Gainwell on the other side of the ball. If you're going to use anybody from Pittsburgh, him or Warren's going to both have pretty good games. In the passing game.
Any concern against that Steelers pass rush? I mean, we've kind of seen Stroud struggle, the last couple of years since his rookie year. When he gets pressured, he kind of runs into trouble. Are you concerned about that Steelers pass rush at all? Or are you just kind of betting on their defense has kind of been susceptible to quarterbacks all year?
Well, we're hoping, Texans defense might get some short fields, help a little bit too, some turnovers and short fields for C.J. Stroud. But
yeah, I mean, we've seen this Steelers secondary has been carved up. It started at the beginning of the year with Justin Fields. Carson Wentz threw for 350 against them. Flacco 342. Jordan Love 360. Daniel Jones 342. Jared Goff a couple weeks ago 364 and 3 touchdowns. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind that Stroud call. It's contrarian. He's got the weapons, and he certainly could step up in this game. Josh, what do you think, man?
Well, the NFL put the Steelers on Monday Night Football for a reason. I mean,
don't do it.
And I'm taking some heat in the chat there. I would love to get a good "here we go Steelers, here we go" going, and then pull a Pat McAfee and take my shirt off, and there's my Stroud jersey. I just don't see the Steelers doing it. TJ Watt's he's not 100%. You see him last week. He was uncomfortable out there. I mean, the guy had a freaking deflated lung 3 weeks ago or however long ago it was. I mean, that's a punctured lungs. That's got to be a tough thing to come back from. But he's a gamer, and he was out there. The Steelers are going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at the Texans. But at the end of the day, the Texans defense is so freaking good. I don't even put so much on that it's the Texans offense against the Steelers defense as it is the Texans defense is so freaking tough. And I just think that they're going to be too much for the Steelers to overcome. They're going to try to feed Gainwell. I was going to use Schultz, but he got stolen from me. And so Gainwell was the easy target. But I mean, you got to get to 6 catches. His over is 5.5. I think they try to target him. He's the only thing they've got going. They do get DK back, but that hasn't been much of a thing all year. So I don't know why it would now. They went to Freiermuth last week. They haven't used Jonnu the right way all year long, and got him involved.
That's surprising too, because that's Artie Smith's boy.
They went and got him. They went out there and they got him. They brought him there, and it's like, Jonnu, man, great year last year. Now that the Steelers love you, they've got something planned for you, and he's just out there.
If you can't get on the same page as Aaron Rodgers, you ain't gonna get the ball.
Yeah. and honestly, Jonnu has been frustrating his whole career. It was just really that last year with Tua, because Tua, he has Jaden Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and he's dumping off the ball 4 or 5 yards to Jonnu Smith. Those guys probably opened up a lot of things for him. There in Miami. But yeah, good points. Shout out to Sean, by the way. He's a Steelers fan. He's a new subscriber. And then also Kenneth, also another new subscriber, saying he's a major Texans fan. So we got both sides of the ball here, new subscribers.
One other thing, though, I will say, even though it is the Texans defense, and everybody on this panel can agree, there's no defense that Aaron Rodgers hasn't seen, or he can read it, but he can't really escape like he once was. He's a lot older than what he was. But now, I will give him props where, I mean, he knows what's coming. He'll probably get rid of the ball pretty quick, I would say. He always has. But
did you see what he was talking about when they were talking about Calvin Austin when he ran that double move? Did you see what they were talking about in the huddle, and he was trying to talk to Calvin. He's like, Calvin, what do you like? And Calvin wasn't really saying anything. And then he's like, somebody in the huddle said, just smoke him. So Calvin's like, all right. So he ran the double move, and he did smoke him. And Rodgers, it was like almost like backyard football. He's just asking the receiver, what route you want to run. And he loves taking those one-on-one chances.
Yeah, he still got it up there, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, against this defense and these corners, it's going to be a tough task for sure. Mike, what do you got here?
Yeah, I'm with I think they put him on Monday night because that's going to be the last time we're going to see Mr. Rogers. I mean, I don't know why. I think it's they usually put they don't put. I knew they weren't. Thank God, I knew they weren't going to put the Eagles on Monday night because I think it's the worst game. But I like the under in the game, 39.5. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to be able to move the ball effectively. They're going to maybe get a lot of field goals, but I think Joey's right. I think it's going to be lopsided. And for Mr. Rogers, I think that's going to be it for him.
What about Mike Tomlin? Is he on the hot seat if they lose this game?
I think they should honestly they should mutually part ways. I think. I mean, it's
I won a playoff game since
he's a bad coach.
Yeah. If 3 AFC North coaches get fired and one of them's not Zach Taylor, I quit.
You're right.
Hey,
The NFL would love it. They would love it. Get rid of Tomlin, man. Harbaugh he'll beat the Ravens.
Give us one of them. We'll take them.
Tomlin would be Baltimore bound. I mean, who else are they going to hire?
Yeah. The Texans, this is their 9th playoff game or wild card playoff game. This is the first time they've played in a time slot other than 4:30 on Saturday.
Interesting.
With the Texans defense and as rough as the Steelers offenses looked, like, why put this game on Monday night? Like I just smell a rat. I don't know. I just smell something.
You see the
funny.
scripts?
They want to give Aaron Rodgers a chance, man. They want to give Aaron Rodgers a chance.
Oh, he's got a chance. The Cowboys might be America's team, but the Steelers are the NFL's team. It's fact.
I think the most undesirable games usually it's a Saturday first game and a Monday night. It's bookends. I mean, Sunday people are going to get worn out from Sunday. It's Sunday. After that, people are going to be worn out. Monday, they're going to watch it, but that's why they do it probably. Sundays are the big game. Big games for ratings for the networks.
Yeah. All right. Who do we got left? Just Joe on this one?
I think so.
Go ahead, man.
So I got Houston winning this game. I do want to shout out Aaron Rodgers for getting god-awful Pittsburgh team into the playoffs in his twilight year. So he does have that to hang his hat on. So good for him for that. Houston defense is just too big, too physical, too tough. They're getting DK Metcalf back. This means nothing to me. For me, looking at DK Metcalf the past couple of years, the only time he's made big plays is when there's been broken coverage. And Houston D, there's not going to be any broken coverage. I think he played alongside Tyler Lockett and who's the other one? JSN, and there was Doug Baldwin at one point too. He's had good wide receivers. Did he? I think he did for 1 year, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But my point is, he's effective. He's effective. He's not effective as the number one target. He's drawing all the top coverage. They're not going to let DK Metcalf beat them at all in this game. So DK Metcalf coming back means nothing to me. I think Kenneth Gainwell is going to get his head taken off as well if they overuse him. So it's going to be ugly. I know Houston is 0-5 in road playoff games, but if you look at their road record this year, they're 5-3. They have legit wins. They beat the Chargers on the road. They beat the Chiefs on the road. They beat the Colts on the road. They beat the Ravens on the road. The Titans, the Titans suck. But the only 3 teams they lost to on the road are the Rams, the Jaguars, and the Seahawks, all top-notch elite NFL teams. The Steelers are nowhere near that type of a caliber of a team. So, that streak's going to end. I think Houston wins. They're going to win their first road playoff game. My prop, because it's a dome team playing a Monday night game in cold weather, I'm going to lean both quarterbacks to throw an interception, parlay in it at plus 296 odds.
I like that.
I do think Stroud's been pretty good about not throwing picks, but this season, but I think he does do one in this game. I think it's possible. I think Aaron Rodgers is a shoo-in to throw at least one. So I like the parlay plus 296. It's only a 39.5 implied total. I could see. I mean, Houston's offense is good enough. Like you mentioned, Steve, their running back sucks, but I shouldn't say sucks. Woody Marks isn't terrible, but their run game in general isn't that great. But their passing offense is good. The Steelers D isn't, nothing special. They've given up a lot of points in games, so I think Houston's offense does enough to win the game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but they should win pretty handedly. I don't see like 34-0 or 34-10 or anything like that. I'm thinking like something like more like 20, 23-6, 23-9 in that range. A little bit more low score, and I don't see it going over.
A snoozer. It's gonna be a snoozer of a Monday night. Yeah, I mean, I want to pick Pittsburgh in this game. Monday night at home, it's going to be freaking electric atmosphere. But yeah, this Texans defense, again, I think this, just like the Eagles game, I think that the Pittsburgh's going to have to create some turnovers to have a chance to win this game, which is certainly possible. Stroud could throw some picks. He could sail some throws. He could fumble. They don't really have a great running game. And maybe the Steelers on the other side, Freiermuth steps up. He's getting a good opportunity now. Gainwell's been solid all year. Warren's run the ball really well as well. He's looked great. Getting DK back helps, of course. But, you're going against two physical corners. DK has underwhelmed as a receiver in this league. We all kind of thought he would ascend, and he never really has. Darnell Washington was a big loss for them. I thought, he would have been a key piece in this game. The guy's a freaking absolute beast, 318 pounds, like 6'6", whatever the hell he is. He's like impossible to tackle. Yeah. So, but maybe Freiermuth steps up. Maybe they get something out of John, who I doubt it. But it's just tough for me to see Pittsburgh winning this game. But again, they are home. It's Monday night. Everybody and their mother is going to pick the Texans. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh to win. Might as well just throw a wrench into everything here. Might as well take a shot on something. I'll probably bet Pittsburgh +3. And I think I would lean under 39.5. And maybe, TJ Watt and company and that pass rush with Herbig could create some turnovers and, force CJ Stroud into some interceptions. But the Texans, they definitely could make a run to the Super Bowl. Their defense is that good. They got some insane playmakers. I'm just kind of, trying to play a little contrarian here. The one prop I'll take is I think I'll take Freiermuth over 33.5 receiving yards. He's a very underrated tight end, and I could see him stepping up in this game. Gainwell is definitely intriguing because, again, their offense just runs through that guy. It's crazy. Over 32.5 receiving yards, -120. I wouldn't mind taking that. I mean, Rodgers just loves throwing to him, and it seems like in the NFL nowadays, defenses will just let you throw to the running backs all day long. It's like that's like the new way to move the ball down the field for a lot of these offenses. So since they've been taking away a lot of the deep plays, so that's it. Anybody want to add anything before on this game?
Yeah, you made a good point on Freiermuth. When Billy Waz was on, he's a Pittsburgh fan. He made a point. He said he doesn't understand, why he hasn't been used. Guy could be he should be effective fantasy tight end. They just don't use them, and you could see down the stretch when they used them, they've been successful. I just don't. I mean, that's a part of the problem in Pittsburgh. It's not Tom. It's who he picks as his offensive coordinator. I'm not a fan of that guy at all. Yeah. I think he's just.
Arthur Smith thinks it's Kyle Pitts.
What's that?
I said Arthur Smith thinks it's Kyle Pitts on the other side instead of Freiermuth. He didn't use Pitts just like he don't use Freiermuth.
I don't understand. Freiermuth, Billy Boss was right.
He's the most athletic tight end they have. I mean, well, I guess John was
better. He's he's better than
Like than Darnell, big D train. Come on.
they just
Yeah, Fryermuth's got great
they-
hands too. He doesn't drop passes.
They're definitely going to miss Donnell Washington because Houston is a big physical defense, and they needed a Donnell Washington in all aspects of the game, not just as as a blocker too. So
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys, the Houston's got Jaden Higgins is a good player. He's a good looking rookie, and then you throw in Kirk and Nico. Obviously, is going to be a problem. Schultz is solid. So yeah, Houston should win this game. But I don't know. Some with the Monday night in Pittsburgh. It's just there's just something about that mystique. It's like playing in Fenway or Yankee Stadium on a night game, like in a huge spot. These are like class organizations that usually just find a way to get it done. And Tomlin's due for a playoff win again since 2017. But yeah, maybe if he loses, he's on the hot seat. Maybe if McDermott loses, he's on the hot seat. We'll have to, see how it all plays out. Some really great narratives this weekend. It's going to be very enjoyable. And we got, 2 college playoff games tomorrow night and Friday night as well. We get to get a look at the prospects coming into the NFL, some big quarterbacks in that Oregon and Indiana game on Friday night. So that is it. I think we could wrap it up unless I think it's kind of late. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to the NFC thing, right, guys?
No. We can save that for another show.
Yeah, maybe we'll try to fit that in.
Sneak one in
the next day or two. We'll see. We'll talk about it. So that's it. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing to the show. Once again, we'll be back next week to break it all down again. Maybe again, we're going to do some best ball drafts, but next week we'll break down the matchups going into the divisional round. Maybe we'll do some DK drafts, updated best ball as we go to the divisional round to the Super Bowl. Follow me on X at Fantasy Savvy. Joe, where can they follow you at?
At Points by Hand Carlton. It's right there on the screen. I'm not going to spell it out for you. Just because I had to take away there's no O on the end. So. But yeah, and you can find. I'm at the Sports Affiliation. I do a show on Tuesday nights. Taking a little break from that right now, though. I do have some stuff planned though in the upcoming weeks, but taking a couple of weeks off on the Tuesday podcast.
Yeah, shout out to Joey, Dan, Mike, and Josh, all very, very savvy fantasy players. They've been breaking down the slates for the past couple of months with Joe. They also appear on Joe's channel as well on the High Stakes show that he does. So yeah, make sure you follow him. We just got another subscriber, Damien. So people are souped up for the NFL playoffs. This is one of the best times of the year for sure. NFL playoffs, baseball playoffs are great when the Yankees make it. March Madness is probably my top thing, but NFL playoffs are right there as well. But that's it. Well, we're gonna take off from here. Catch us again rest of the week. Thanks guys for joining me tonight. All the best. Everybody enjoy the games.
Night, y'all.
See you, boys.